And working with recruiters who reach out through LinkedIn unsolicited a bad idea. What are the consequences of working with recruiters little about? Okay, so I personally, if you know me and I've never reached out to you on LinkedIn, it's like anything, like the people that are the best at something aren't necessarily doing that. This is something that recruiters use now all the time. They contact people on LinkedIn, preferably because they don't have the wrong candidates. So let me tell you a little bit about that. It's anytime a recruiter is reaching out to you about a law firm job, it's probably most of the time it's at a huge law firm, you know, but that if you, it's like anything. And again, I'm not being critical of the industry. I'm not being critical of anything, but if you are someone that wants to be a financial advisor at Merrill Lynch, you will start there with no business and you will be expected to cold call people to your friends from high school and college and whatever, and then your relatives of your parents, your friends of your parents, people that may be part of your parents' country club. This is what a new financial advisor does. They do that because no one otherwise is going to do business with them because they don't have their own clients. And so a new financial advisor, that's what they do. They cold call and try to find people. But the problem is they don't even know what they're doing yet. So they don't know what they're doing. So because they don't know what they're doing, they have to get clients like that. And then not only that, but they need to learn what they're doing. So what happens in this situation? Most people quit because they can't get clients. So most people quit. Then the ones that stay with it, some become very good. And some become very good. So what does that mean? That means that they have plenty of business and they've learned how to succeed in the profession and they don't cold call anymore. Do you think someone that is the head of a giant hedge fund or something is cold calling people looking for business? They've got more people than they have all these bars and things to enter. In my case, no, I don't cold call or message people through LinkedIn because I've been doing this for so long. I know what I'm doing. Not only that, but just to tell you how sophisticated this business is, there's over 300 practice areas. We work with over 10,000 law firms, and it's just insane. Like how when you have a lot more experience, how it can make a difference. So if someone's reaching out for your LinkedIn, that means they're getting established. They don't necessarily know what they're doing yet, or that may be what they're doing. And then they're new. So the problem with that is, and I'm not saying sometimes a very experienced recruiter may reach out you to be the general counsel of a company if you're a partner. I mean, I'm not saying that it's always bad, but the problem is people need to learn what they're doing a lot of times. There's all these things you need to say to law firms to get them interested in that do things. There's just a lot to the business and there's a lot you need to understand. So is it a bad idea? Typically what happens, it'll just tell you how most recruiters work. We don't work this way because I'm not going to talk about myself, but people will subscribe to services and there's only one or two services that give them access to list of attorneys and big firms, and then also give them access to big firm jobs when they come out. And when they come out, sometimes they come out. The law firm posts a job on their website, and boom, the service will email recruiters in big cities like New York. All of a sudden, you'll be inundated with LinkedIn and calls and things. And and then people will just try to get your resume and hope. So that's how it works. So if you're getting a call like that, is it a bad idea? They're talking you into applying for the job, maybe that sort of thing. So if that's what you want, that's perfectly fine. But most of the times the recruiters on LinkedIn are going to only have a few jobs. So if you go to BCG, and I don't want to brag here, but typically there's 3,000 jobs that we have. I'm just telling you, and other big recruiting firms may have similar resources. All we do are law firm placements. And again, I'm not trying to brag here. I'm just placements. All we've ever done. We have 10,000 law firms we work with. We have history. And again, I'm trying to show you what it looks like when you look deep in something, the history. So we know where every person's ever interviewed, where where tens of thousands of people have interviewed. We have every job that a law firm has ever had in the past and future. So we have things at every job. And again, I don't want to talk too much about this. I'm going to move on because this is not a BCG, but every firm that's ever, every job a firm ever had. So the point is that there's nothing necessarily wrong with if a recruiter wants to tell you about a big firm everyone knows has a job that they go to their website and tries to work with you for. But if you and they can throw your resume in the pie and see what happens. But the point is that this business, like any business, the longer someone does it, the more sophisticated they become, the more people they know, the more they know how to do it, the more established they are. So again, everyone starts somewhere. It doesn't mean that's a bad thing. And every very successful person when they're younger often is much hungrier. So it's not, so there's pluses and minuses. I think that should be enough to answer your question. Again, without saying anything negative about new recruiters, because I certainly was one at one time. That's how things work. What I don't like about just reaching out to people is that they should have a lot of satisfied clients. If they've made a lot of placements, then it's all they can do to keep up with those placements, trying to go to new firms and new firms. That should be they should have nothing but doing that. So even after I was doing it for 2 years, like I think my first year, I had more work than I could handle just from people that I'd placed or referrals from the people that I'd placed right away, actually within 6 months. So because I was good at it and I understood it. So it's just that's how it works. So someone that's reaching out on LinkedIn, you don't know. And there's, I hope that answers your question. But that's what most people do. They don't have people coming to them or people that they've placed many times. So that's what they do with their time. I think it'd be more, but and just one final thing, I hate to keep harping on this. If I was a, if I was someone reaching out to candidates on LinkedIn and that's how I spent my time, I think my time would be much better spent trying to look for jobs for my existing candidates and place them than just sending people to one firm and hoping something great happens. It's just my opinion. And some other firms that came out on this list.